Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer. Hopefully you will enjoy this 2-day journey in Paris with me for the first time. We're going to start off in the very beginning of the morning where I try and grab some coffee, but nothing is open yet. Everything is so closed and opens up way later than I'm expecting it to. So of course I'm excited, ready to go, and out there by like 7:30 in the morning. And so I struggled to find something that was open. Everything opens so much later and stays open late in Paris, so definitely keep that in mind as we adventure today, starting off with the Louvre. I have another ticket that I pre-purchased online for the Toot, T-O-O-T bus, which is a sightseeing bus you can hop on, hop off all the time throughout Paris, which I absolutely loved this full day of actually using that bus. It is a great recommendation. It was so much easier to use and it had more stops available to me than the one in London. I did prefer the city sightseeing bus, which I used in Oxford later on. So just stay tuned to check out that information when I go visit Oxford for the day. But back to Paris. So I first started out with my day trying to find coffee, and then I decided to take the city bus over to the Louvre since the Toot bus didn't start until 9:30. So keep that in mind if you're an early riser like me. There might be a few things that you need to figure out ahead of time to see what's open for you to do things in the morning. But I took the city bus over to the Louvre. Let's check out that first footage of the Louvre with nobody around. It was so exciting. After a while of walking around and taking in all of the sights and how extensive and huge the Louvre really is, it was so exciting to have somebody offer to take my picture. It was a nice, lovely couple, and they said, "Hey, do you want me to take your picture?" They saw the selfies I was taking. So these are the pictures that they offered and were making me laugh and smile. As you can see, I am not used to taking photos, and so they got some great pictures of me in this gorgeous dress that I thought was very Paris appropriate. And so I had a lot of fun. As you can see here now, I'm standing in line to be one of the first people admitted into the Louvre. I think I was within the first 10 people of the morning. That was one of the things that was highly recommended to me, was to get the first admission ticket to any big attractions like the Louvre. So I did. I was within the first 10 people, went through bag check and security, and then just followed the crowd to have my ticket scanned and entered into where the Mona Lisa is. As you can see, these crowds are already stacking up and getting really long to see the Mona Lisa. A very nice security guard let me come in through the exit instead of having to walk all the way around. And I just stood off to the side and took a picture of the Mona Lisa. I didn't have to be up front and center, but it was like one of those bucket list items to be able to see and cherish. From there, I continued to wander around and seeing some of the different sculptures were my absolute favorite, including this garden, which was under one of the glass structures of the pyramids. And you can just see all these gorgeous structures and statues and just the history of all. You don't quite understand and see it until you actually are there and fully see and appreciate all the fine details of the stone. And then when I got done, I had to take a long walk out of this mall to get out of the Louvre, but then I walked across the street and I could see my first picture of the Eiffel Tower. I was so excited. I did not know you could actually see it from the Louvre. I don't know, that was a once in a lifetime thing. My first time I saw the Paris, I had to take a picture of it. As you can see here, as I left after a couple hours of taking the Louvre, you could spend days looking at the Louvre. I saw some quick highlights, but you can see now that there is a very long line. They had a separate line for each half-hour admission. So making sure you get in the correct line to be admission. This is like the main entrance, but there's also another entrance with a very long line that you can go in through the mall side, whereas I had exited. So yeah, I had a great time. I did sit down and have a croissant and a coffee once the Louvre was open. It took me forever to get my coffee because I think I had a 9 a.m. admission into the Louvre, but it's all right. I got started, had some great time, and it was very cool that the very first stop was in front of the Louvre for the Toot bus. So on to the next adventure of sightseeing on the Toot bus. Continuing on with the Toot bus tour, we passed by a Cartier store as well as a national museum, and also taking in the famous platform where you can overlook the Paris Eiffel Tower, and just having to take in all that it has to offer. Such a gorgeous view and a great day. I was on the Toot bus on the first level, but eventually over time, in the second time that I rode around on the tour, I did go up top and take in all the sights and sounds it has to offer. But these are the views that you got on the tour bus. You could stop here at the Eiffel Tower, but I continued on across some beautiful bridges with some lamp posts and just all of the monuments and all the history that you could see. And just riding along was so gorgeous to take in this day, as well as this museum that has gold inlays on the doors. It was just so much to take in and take a look at. It was just so gorgeous and a great day to explore on the bus. It was at this point that I hopped off the bus in search for some lunch and a bathroom stop. I ordered down this wonderful alley. I could have spent hours shopping and got some lunch at a nice Greek restaurant that I had a gyro, and they allowed me to use the restroom. I have now gotten to the Pantheon, and so I wandered in and my admission ticket and loved all of the amazing architecture and sculptures. Again, it just totally took my breath away. Taking in all the beautiful architecture, you can see the Eiffel Tower there in the background, as well as keep in mind that there are no handrails as you go up the steps to get to the Pantheon. There is a ramp off to the right side of the entrance that you can use if you need to use accessibility at entrance. As you enter the Pantheon, you have your ticket scanned, and then you're free to wander and roam and see all the different sights and sounds and tapestries and sculptures and everything that the Pantheon has to offer. I would highly recommend stopping in here and seeing all the gorgeous exhibits. It was a great opportunity to take a look. I did sit and just observe and look around, look up, look around, look the ceiling. It was absolutely gorgeous inside. I would recommend visiting this gorgeous place. I finished out the rest of my day by taking a taxi back to the hotel and relaxed for a while, and then ventured out to a local cafe for dinner that night and just enjoyed the evening in my hotel room. I really had a fabulous first full day in Paris. Stick around for the next section where day 2, that is another full adventure of the Toot bus. Day 2 starts off in the rain, the first rainy day of my trip, which I was so lucky and thankful that it had not rained before now, at this local cute cafe where I had a wonderful breakfast and enjoyed a cappuccino. I really didn't like Paris coffee, which is controversial, but yeah, it was not my favorite. But I did enjoy a great breakfast, really enjoyed that, as well as tried a chocolate mousse. Why not? It's breakfast. Dessert breakfast as well as a full English breakfast, which was interesting and a different thing to enjoy. I then hopped on the Toot bus. There was a stop just down the road from my hotel and just took in the sights and sounds and architecture all around Paris, including seeing the Notre Dame and just really enjoying my time on the top level of the bus in some of the rain and some drizzle, but it still made it for a very fun adventure. As you can see, the gates and the doors are open for visiting the Notre Dame. You did not need a reservation. You could just have to stand in line. And I did not realize the Notre Dame is on an island, and so you go over the river to get to Notre Dame. And so just some local shops and lots of tourist stops and the gift shops and things along the way for us to take in. As we continued on the bus tour, we did go by the Louis Vuitton store, the famous one with the piece of luggage that is part of the building structure, as well as the entrance just to the left of the luggage. It was just massive and very luxurious to take a look at. And then that was on the way to the Arc de Triomphe, which our bus tour did actually drive almost all the way around the actual structure, which is very cool to see. Now, taking the sights and sounds of this amazing vantage point of the Arc de Triomphe. Continuing the bus tour, we observed famous Paris architecture with the balconettes and large windows and gorgeous doors, as well as flower markets on the corner, and just taking it all in as we continued the bus tour, enjoying the parks and just getting to the Eiffel Tower and taking a look from the famous view as well. It was so neat to see the Eiffel Tower. I don't think that view would ever get old. But let's take a look at the bus tour going right by the Eiffel Tower, where I stopped and got off and went up to the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower. Just wanted to say hey, it is really real. It exists. I love it. So cool, so busy. You actually get a ticket to actually get into the lawns of the Eiffel Tower, which is very interesting. Not gonna do that, but I just wanted to say hi from Paris. As you can see, I was wrong. You can get but I am underneath the Eiffel Tower. So cool. I did enjoy my time at the Eiffel Tower. I spent some time just taking it all in, sitting on a bench. There was a little bit of a park. A lot of it was roped off or fenced off, but I did take some time and enjoy the space. But then I ended up walking over to Shakespeare and Co, which is a famous bookstore, and stood in line to go in, where there is no camera or video or audio or anything in pictures you can take within the store. It's just supposed to be about immersive and enjoying your time, not having to worry about any of those social media distractions. And so I waited outside in line in the rain. I did have a couple of people stop us and ask why there was a line to whatever this was, and we had to explain it's a famous bookstore and is very amazing to go in and just take a look and enjoying the atmosphere. So once I did get inside, I had an amazing time looking around at all the fiction books. I did end up getting one middle grade book called The Witch in Paris, and I had them stamp it. Once I got done and checked out, I also got a tote bag. But hopefully at the end of my video series, you'll take a look at some of the souvenirs I got, including some magnets as well as some of the tote bags. I think I came away with 3 different tote bags, and one Paris specific, one from Shakespeare and Co, of course. And so I really had a great time taking in all of this bookstore had to offer. Did sit down and enjoy some browsing as well, which is great. From there, I walked over to the Notre Dame and heard the bells toll, which was so exciting. Take a look, take a listen, and enjoy some of these bells. After spending some time at the Notre Dame, I walked across the river and enjoyed the bridge views and just seeing all the amazing architecture and buildings and just taking it all in that I'm actually in Paris. I still can't believe it, even to this day, that I've been there, seen some of these amazing places. I did enjoy the views. It did stop raining for a while, which was nice, and so I was able to take in some of this great, amazing weather and walkable streets and just seeing all the monuments throughout. End of this amazing day, I ended up taking a taxi back to my hotel. Are you finding a theme yet that I'm too exhausted to find my way back to my hotel on a bus and all the walking? I did enjoy the taxi services in Paris. It was easy to navigate. Everybody was very friendly as long as I greeted them in French, like bonjour or bonsoir, depending on the time of day. I really did have an amazing adventure and enjoying these 2 days in Paris. I would definitely say my number one highlight, even from these 2 days and my whole trip, was seeing the Eiffel Tower. It was a dream come true, an amazing adventure. As you can see, I'm getting emotional about it, but I really did have an amazing time. And so I can't wait to see what it takes to go back on the Eurostar the next day. Stay tuned for my next adventure. Can't wait for you to see the next vlog next week. Bye!